and we provide A-level courses in biology, chemistry, physics, and maths for those students who want to enroll in medical, dental, veterinary, financial, and engineering programs at the chosen university in the UK. So today, I wanted to come into the live stream and I wanted to talk about what mock exams really reveal about your teen. Parents, I think you know the emotional moment that I'm talking about. The one where your teen gets their mock exam and they bring it home from sixth form college and they're a little bit upset because the exam result that they got is not what they expected. Maybe it's lower than what was predicted by the teacher, or maybe it doesn't reflect the amount of time, effort, and attention that they've been putting into studying, revising for the mock exam. And maybe it's knocked their confidence in A-level maths and A-level science. And they wonder, can they actually achieve the A or A star? But here's the key question. Are mock exams, are they measuring ability or are they revealing something deeper? Because mock exams, they're not results. They're not a letter grade on the top right corner of the paper. They're not some kind of mark in the mark book. What they are is that they're data. And the data that we can use, your teen can use, to help them move up letter grades, move up to the A and the A star ranking. The issue is this. This is the core reframe that you need to get, parents, is this one. Most parents and students, they think that mock exams, they're the final verdict. Whatever grade they got in the mock exam is the grade that they're going to get at the end of the course. And sometimes parents, teachers also say this as well. Well, this is the grade that you got in the mock exam. Mock exams are an indication of how well you'll do on the final exam. Are they? Are you telling me that it's not possible to turn things around if you get a bad mock exam grade? Well, it is, parents, it is, if you believe that mock exams are a diagnostic tool that gives you the data that your teen needs in order to change or update their study skills, revision habits, their outlook towards the course. Because a mock exam, it is actually rather informative. It does tell you where marks are being lost. It tells your teen how they perform under pressure and whether they can apply the knowledge that they know to novel questions and situations under exam conditions. And these are three really big components to think about, parents, because the mock exam, it tells you where marks are being lost. And if you know where marks are being lost, well, then you can fix that. It tells you whether your teen can perform under pressure on the mock exam. And if they can, great. If they can't, well, then it's something that they can fix. It tells them, can you apply knowledge under novel situations, exam conditions? But the most important thing to keep in mind, parents, is this, is that mock exams don't define your teen. They don't. And at Empowered STEM is what we tell the students in our courses all the time. Your identity is not linked to the grade you have in the course. They are two different things. They're not connected. So if mock exams, they don't define your teen, what exactly do they do? Well, what they do is that they reveal your teen's current performance level. Now, I have a saying, which is this one, is that the grade you get on the test or the exam is a reflection of the habits you have since the last time you took a test or an exam. So, parents, what's exactly happening with the mock exams then? It's this. This is what parents see. Parents see a grade. They see a B. They see a C or a D. This is the only thing that parents see on the report card from the sixth form colleges, a grade on the mock exam, or one that's scribbled on the top right-hand corner. They see a drop in expectations. Well, you were supposed to be earning an A star or an A, and well, you walked out with a B. They see a worried or frustrated teenager, one that's sitting in their room just wondering, what on earth can I do differently to improve my grade in A-level maths and A-level science? But like I said, mock exams, they are a diagnostic tool. And so what they're actually revealing is this: gaps in exam technique, weaknesses in specific topics, timing and structure issues, misinterpretation of questions, lack of exposure to real exam conditions. Now, parents, these are all issues, challenges, as I like to call them, challenges that can be fixed. And so if you look at the mock exam as being a diagnostic tool with data attached to it, and then you see the results in this way, then you can have a path forward. Your teen can start to walk the path up to the A and the A star in A-level maths and A-level science, biology, chemistry, or physics. Because the grade is just on the surface. The grade is the letter they put on the top right corner or stamped in the mark book, isn't it? This is a grade. It's a vanity metric. It's something that looks nice, but there's so much more behind it. Because the insight sits beneath the grade. And the insight, if your teen can gain the insight from the mock exam, this is something that they can use to improve their grade in A-level maths, A-level science. So let's have a look then at the categories of where students tend to lose marks on mock exams and exactly what it means. There's three categories. Number one, knowledge gaps. If they have a knowledge gap, it means that there's missing or insecure content, or there's misunderstood concepts. The second one is application gaps. They're struggling to apply knowledge to unfamiliar questions. They have difficulty linking topics together. Exam technique gaps. They're misreading command words. There's poor structure in their answers, especially for A-level biology. They're running out of time. Or what they're writing is not aligning with mark schemes. Now, the reason why I say, parents, that there's three types of gaps is that you can actually map these gaps to the grade your teen gets on the mock exam. If they got a C, D, E, or a U, this means that there's knowledge gaps. Because students have a C or lower, it's knowledge gaps. If it's anywhere between a C and a B, well then it's exam technique. They're misreading questions. For example, they're getting describe and explain confused. So students who have a B, they have the knowledge aligned and they have the exam technique figured out. The B to the A is the application gap. This is where they struggle to earn the A. because they can't apply the knowledge to unfamiliar questions. An A to an A star is all about confidence. So these then are the three main areas, the three gaps that I see in mock exams. But what I also notice is that most students, they're not losing marks because they didn't revise. Of all the students that we talk to before we enroll them into our courses, they're all putting in the time, effort, and attention, parents. They're hardworking. But you know what they say, you can run to the east as fast as you want, but you'll never see a sunset. So if it isn't an effort issue, well, then what is it? They're losing marks because they weren't trained to perform under exam conditions. Now, what they have is a confidence misalignment. And it's this. This is where many teens feel stuck. They think, well, I revised, Graham, so why didn't it show on the mock exam? I spent all day Saturday, all day Sunday in my room revising, going over past paper question, past paper question, past paper question, over and over again, memorized the mark scheme. Why didn't it show on the mock exam then? Because revision builds familiarity. Mocks test performance. And this is the bit, right? Let me say it again. Revision builds familiarity. Yes, your teen can be in their room. They can revise for hours and hours. They can reread their notes. They can do practice questions. You can even do them under time conditions in the comfort of their room, in the safety of their room, in the cocoon that they have, that it doesn't really count because it's not the real thing. Whereas mocks test performance. So your teen may go into the mock, they may know the content, they may know the exam technique, but they haven't been trained to perform under exam conditions, which is what the mock is testing. And this is why the grade starts to fall down, doesn't it? Because what exactly does top peak performance require? Three things: retrieval under pressure, precision in answers, speed and structure. It's totally different, parents, doing a past paper in solitude of your room as compared to doing it in a sports hall or doing it in a classroom under exam conditions with a clock at the front of the room just winding its way down. The pressure, and I talked about this one in previous live streams, pressure negatively influences the ability of somebody to retrieve memory, information that they stored into their short-term memory. They begin to forget simple things that they know, things that they've seen before. Precision in answers. Your teen is taking the mock exam and all of a sudden they're in panic mode. Oh, I've got so many minutes left. I've got to do this, or I should be on this question. And so they start writing quickly and they're not slowing down and they're not being precise in their answers. And speed and structure. Yes, they may have done the essay questions in biology, the 25 mark essay questions in biology or the 6 mark questions in A-level chemistry. But there's a difference between doing it in the privacy of a room as compared to doing it under exam conditions. And this is why effort and outcome can feel disconnected. Your teen may put in the effort, but because they haven't trained themselves to perform under peak conditions and exam conditions, they're not seeing the result that they want. So, what's the real value then of a mock exam? What exactly can your teen gain from a mock exam? Well, a mock exam, it should answer 4 critical questions. What specifically caused lost marks? Was it lack of knowledge? Was it exam technique? Was it the inability to apply the knowledge to questions they hadn't seen before? Number 2, what topics are weak versus secure? Yes, I may know, for example, I may know energetics in year 12 A-level chemistry, but thermodynamics in year 13, a little bit weak on. Now is the time to pick up on that, isn't it? Number 3, which question types are consistently problematic? Is it the 5-marker mechanism questions in A-level chemistry? Is it the concept questions in A-level biology where you have to get the wording exactly precise as the examiner wants? And the 4th question is this: how does performance change under time pressure? If I can do it at home, pass papers without any time pressure, and all of a sudden I get a good grade, and all of a sudden in the mock exam, I'm losing marks because I'm making silly errors, this means that the time pressure is causing my grade to drop. If these questions are not answered after your teen has taken the mock exam, then the mock has been wasted because they see the data and the parents see the grade, but they don't get the insight. Now, what do high-performing students do differently? Well, top-performing students, the students on our courses, for example, they don't just sit mocks. They don't go, well, I had a mock exam today. Great. Oh, got the mock exam back. Right. Oh, fantastic. Yes. All right. I'll grab a few points on this question here from the teacher. Oh, fine. I'll just file it in the back of my textbook. They extract insight from the mock exams. And it's the insight which becomes important. Imagine a coin. There's data on one side of the coin and there's insight on the other. So what top performing students do is this, is they analyze every mistake. There's no emotion involved at all. They just analyze every mistake. What exactly did I do wrong? Why did I lose marks? And how can I improve on it? They categorize errors. Was it a concept issue, a knowledge gap, or was it an exam technique issue? They track patterns across papers. They just don't take the one mock exam that the sixth form college gives them. No, they're taking full papers from the exam board that everybody can download from the internet. Paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, and they're tracking patterns across papers. They graph their score because we show them how to do this. They graph the score. They know which question types are giving them issues, which concepts they need to work on. They're tracking patterns across papers as they work faster and faster through the mock exams. They focus revision on high impact gaps. Now, I've talked about this one, parents, in a previous live stream, but it's this one. Don't have your teen revise everything equally because some topics are more important than others. There's some topics that are high leverage. Ones that always show up every year on the exam. Ones that you can kind of tell what the question type is going to be. For example, in A-level chemistry, there's always one at the end, which is they give you an unknown compound and you've got to determine the structure of the unknown compound, and they give you all the spectral data and all the other information, and you have to apply it and figure out what the structure is. And so high achieving students would spend more time on that topic because they know it's going to come up on the exam, the mock exam or the final exam. And they also retest themselves under timed conditions. Yes, they break the habits. They break the chain of, well, I'm just doing a past paper question. I'll just do some past paper questions tonight. Well, I'm in learning mode. So this is why I'm not really timing myself, because I just want to go through it. I just want to see if I know the information. No, that's not effective revision at all, parents. And I think you and I know this, right? So what they do is this, is they turn mock exams into a feedback system and not a judgment. Like I said, students enrolled in our courses, there's no emotion or judgment towards mock exam data or other tests that they get back from the college. It's just data. What's important is the insight behind it. And in Power STEM, we use a path method. It's called the STEM path method. It's a 4-step method that we came up with. And let's apply this method to mock exams. Mock exams, because they're a closed exam, mock exams, they fit rather well into a structured improvement system. So the first step in the method then is precision diagnosis. The students break down exactly why marks were lost. They know what they know, and they know what they don't know, and they know exactly why they lost marks. And because they have dialed in the optics, they've got such laser targeted focusing on this one. They know exactly why they lost the marks. Conceptual clarity. They then take the next step and they fix the underlying gaps in their understanding. Not just a quick glib review or just watch a YouTube video and yeah, maybe I'll kind of get it, or well, I'll just figure out what the mark scheme wants me to put down. Well, as long as they only ask me this one type of question, I can do it. No, they have a really solid foundation, like the base of a mountain, in their understanding. Strategic revision. They target specific weaknesses with past paper practice. Yes, anybody can do passive revision, parents, which is where your teen just rereads the notes, they highlight everything, they watch YouTube videos, they go through some past paper questions with the mark scheme open just to make sure that they got it right. Our students, they use practice papers from the exam board in the way that the exam board wanted them to be used. Targeted practice papers that target a specific weakness that they can improve on it. Medical mindset, the 4th step. Detach emotion from results. They focus on data and progress. It's just data, it's just numbers on a page, parents. It's not linked to their identity. They're not a good student or a bad student because of what they do on the mock exam. But what it is data which they can flip the coin, get insight with, and then learn from. And this, following this 4-step pathway, this is how mocks can actually become really, really powerful. So parents, what exactly can you do right now to help your teen? Well, it comes down to the type of questions that you ask. And if you've been following me for any time, you know that I'm really big into question stems, okay? So after a mock, instead of asking, so what grade did you get? Or watch your teen squirm and look for the paper in the bag and, oh, all of a sudden you've got this emotional outburst. Because really, that question, it's a judgment question, isn't it? Because they're going to feel judged. Well, they've got a B. Well, could have done better, couldn't you? It's a judgment question. What's better to ask is, so what did this paper reveal? What you're doing is you move them over to looking at the paper with a critical eye, seeing what insight they can gain from it. Where are marks being lost? Is it the multiple choice questions? Is it the 4-marker calculation questions in A-level chemistry? Was it differentiation, integration in A-level maths? What's the plan to fix it? Now, you see this one, what you're doing is this. Teens like autonomy. They like to do it on their own. So what you're doing is just guiding them along. You're coaching them along to say, what's the plan to fix it then? Because you and I both know, parents, that mock exams are not an indication of your teen's ability. It's just a grade that they got on the day. How will the next paper be different? These 4 questions, they're all behavior type questions. So how will your paper be different the next time around? Makes them think, makes them flip the coin in their head. And so they're not thinking of data, they're thinking of insight. And what this does is that this shifts the conversation from judgment, the very first question I gave you, to improvement, to insight. So parents, let me give you some reassurance, because we talk to a lot of parents as we're enrolling students into our courses at Empowered STEM, and it's this one. If your teen didn't perform well in mocks, they didn't get the grade, it does not mean they can't achieve an A or an A star. They aren't capable, or it's too late. Because we've had students enrolled in our courses that have done really poorly on the mock exam, enrolled in one of our courses, and actually walked out with an A star. And so there isn't any reason at all, parents, to believe that your teen cannot turn around a bad mock exam grade and move into an A or an A star, or that they're not capable. Because of course they're capable. Otherwise, they wouldn't have enrolled in the course in the first place. There's a prerequisite grade boundary at GCSE to get into A levels, right? And it's not too late. Now, on this one, it's not too late. But of course, the longer you leave it, the more difficult it is to turn things around. What it means then is this. So if mock exams don't mean this, what exactly does it mean? It means that they now have the data to improve. 2 sides of a coin, data on one side, they can flip the coin, they can now look at the insight side of it. And with the right structure, significant progress can happen in weeks, not months, weeks. Okay, we have many students who go through our courses who have turned it around during the time of the course and got the A and the A star in A-level maths and A-level science and enrolled in the university of choice. So parents, if you're watching me on Facebook, or if you're watching me on YouTube, and what I talk about in these live streams, if it resonates with you, if you think, actually, Graham, you come on these live streams and you give us the tips, the techniques, and the strategies that we need to help our teen earn the A and the A star in A-level maths and A-level science, then do this. If you're on Facebook, follow the page, and then you'll be notified of upcoming live streams. If you're on the YouTube channel, subscribe. And the benefit of being on the YouTube channel with us is that you also gain access to all of the other live streams that we do. We do live streams every week. There's an entire library of live streams that you can watch. Now, if you're interested in the courses that we offer at Empowered STEM, there's a link in the description below the video on Facebook and the video on YouTube. Click on the link, fill out the form, and a member of my team will reach out to you, and you'll have a non-committal, non-sales conversation with them. Very easy conversation where you can tell us how your teen is doing in A-level maths, biology, chemistry, physics, what the working at grade is, the grade they have right now, their predicted grade, the aspirational grade. what university they aspire to go to, what they want to be, doctor, dentist, veterinarian. And you can tell us what the issue is with your teen not achieving those top grades. And we'll tell you about our course. And there's a mutual conversation. We'll ask you questions, you ask questions, and then at the end of the conversation, you will have the information that you need to make a well-informed decision. And if it means that you invest in one of our courses, well, then we can help your teen start to walk the grade journey from where they are up to the predicted grade and the aspirational grade and end up around the A and the A star grade. Everybody take care, and I'll see you on the next one.